Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We welcome you to this section of Gita study. We're taking a reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 7, text 9. Am I right? 9. 9, yes. Chapter 7, text 9. Right? Pardon?
Yesterday was test number 2.
Yesterday, test number 2. Yeah. I think those were the text I was given to. I don't know. This one. Yeah, this was the text I was given to. I don't know. Yeah, I was given text. That is chapter 7, text 9. Yeah. I don't know if I'm correct, but this was I was meditating on. Except if there is any change. Okay? Punyo Gridha Prashayam Cha 9 Cha. Okay? You found it now? Okay. Thank you. Punyo Gridha Priyancham Tijas Jasmine Vaibasu Jivanam Saiva Bhutesu Tapa Jasmine Tapaswa Puyangrata Pratas Punyagratha Priyayam Cha Takasma Vibesu Jivana Sava Bhuktesu Tapachasmi Tapaswasu. Okay, somebody can try. Punyo Ganda Putyam Cha Teja Chasmi Vibhadasu Jivanam Sarva Bhutesu Tapas Jasmin Tapas Jesu. Okay.
Yes, sir. Available.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to have you.
Oh, I was missing you, Babu. I was missing you for a while.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I think we just go to the translation because, that's 7, 9. 9, yes. Thank you. So the translation goes like this, right? I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penance of all aesthetics. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in the material world has a certain flavor or fragrance. As the flavor and fragrance in a flower, or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor, which permeates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by the mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhasu means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories. We cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to a low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So, Krishna consciousness is active in every space. Srila Prabhupada ki. The purport is very straight and very simplified. Om Jnana Timiranjasan Jana Jana Shlakaya Chakshu Ominitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutane Shimantika Vishenda Swamitam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutane Simanta Bhakti-Vedanta Swamitam. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Visisya Sunyavadi Viskatya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. So let me just read through the translation again. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all the leaves, and I am the penances of all aesthetics. So I was looking at this verse from the different angles, from Vishwananta Chakravarti Thakur, from Baladev Vidyabhushan also. They all have the same view with Srila Prabhupada. The main significance of this text is the punya, original. Like Baladev Vidyabhushan, he referred to it as, attractive. Attractive to bring this word, he brings this word from the Amarkosha dictionary, Sanskrit dictionary. Vishwananta Chakravarti Thakur also gives the same thing. His definition is also the punya means, according to the definition he gives from that dictionary, pleasing or natural. In the purport of Srila Prabhupada, he makes it specific, original. So, one way wants to know what is that actually original, which is the main subject of this text. In the material world, there is this two sides of the face. We have the negative one, we have the positive one. I see so many people. If you give them some articles, they will want to find out, is there the other aspect of it? Perhaps, maybe the one you have given was the original. They will want to keep the original aside and look for the other aspect, which we can say the second class. At the end of the day, the first class, which is the original, will not be considered. It let us settle, for the second class, which is the inferior. But this verse is encouraging us. We should seek for the first class, the original. There are three phases of life, three phases of understanding the absolute truths. You can perceive the absolute truth in three phases. You can perceive him as spirit, Brahma. You can perceive him as Parahatma, the God in the heart. And the topmost, you perceive the absolute truth as Bhagavan. So this text is giving us different approach where we can relate with phenomenal things. What are these phenomenal things? We see flowers. We can perceive from the flowers. Oh, this is Krishna. Because the original fragrance of that flower is Krishna. That is the super soul. We taste water, we can get, the taste. Oh, this water tastes very sweet. That is Krishna. These different phenomena that help us, to remember, to think of Krishna. But it's unfortunately that these thoughts never comes to our mind. We either want to settle for the characters. What are the characters that I mean here? The characters of the senses, the demands of the eyes, the demands of the ears, the demands of the tongue. The demands of the mind, the agitations, the details of the mind. We are all blessed by the best, but we want to settle for these, characters, leaving the actor behind. We intend to have more absorption, more affection to these different, characters of the senses. So why this affection? There is a famous story from Mahabharata. I think I will try to minimize my time. Maybe if time permits me, I will cite two good examples, backing up this different approach we have gotten from Srila Prabhupada, different. So, if I can get to, maybe two stories or so, or one of thereabouts, just to emphasize the point, if the time permits. When Duryodhana was born in Mahabharata, when Duryodhana was born, his cry, my mother was a midwife, and I have experience of this. Sometimes, as an undergraduate, sometimes I go to visit her in the hospital, and sometimes she will want me to come along to the theater. I can perceive that when a child is born, if there is no tears, it's like inferior. So the child have to cry, for the agency to, so yes, is alive, he or she is alive. So when there is no tears, so the child is considered, It's inferior. So many things have to be done for the child to cry. We can see the experience of life. A child cries in, we all cry into this world. And when we are going, we also cry. But not only we allow people to cry along with us. People, we invite people. Let's go with this. We invite people, please. Maybe it's not your time, but cry along with me. It's not a good omen. This is a touch of the sadhus, Srila Prabhupada. Day and night, he gave us this ecstatic purpose. Digest and apply. I go back to the story. The first cry of Duryodhana was like a donkey. When Duryodhana cried, was like a donkey. That section of Mahabharata said everywhere was like dark, inauspicious. Dhritarashtra called Sanjaya, "Oh Sanjaya, oh Sanjaya, please, what kind of omen is this? What is going on?" Sanjaya, being an introspective and a transcendental personality, begin to analyze the different omen that follows Duryodhana's cry. At the end of this analysis, it tells Dhritarashtra, it will be for your interest if you do away with this child. Otherwise, this omen signifies that if this child grows, it's going to ruin the dynasty of the Kurus. It didn't sink to Dhritarashtra's ears. This is love, affection. Duryodhana grows and it becomes a terrible antagonist to the Pandavas. To the extent, if we look at the scene of the Mahabharata, the both sides, the Pandavas and the Kuruvas, they're both fathered by Vyasadeva. They were both fathered. Vyasadeva were both fathered of both parties, the Kuruvas and the Pandavas. So Vyasadeva at one point was disappointed with the way the Pandavas have been treated. So at one point, he met with Dhritarashtra. It expressed his, discontent. What is going on? Why is it that the Pandavas, they are being mistreated like this? What is this affection that you have for Duryodhana? You are aware that in the very beginning, when Duryodhana was born, you were asked to do away with him by Sanjaya, but you never take no. Dhritarashtra said, you know. I cannot just analyze the kind of affection I have. But we do wish that the Grihastha, our ISKCON Grihastha, should not have such affection for their children. They should have, affection, strong affection for Srila Prabhupada's book, strong affection for chanting and hearing, strong affection for association, and strong affection, also understanding. Of course, we have so many ideal Grihastha in our ISKCON, so many. I don't want to mention several of them. I'm even staying with one, exemplary Grihastha in Goshala. So, this Rasta said he cannot analyze the kind of affection he has for Duryodhana. Vyasadeva shook his head. He said, well, it is true. He said it is true. Then he cited an history. One time, Mother Earth was lamenting. She was lamenting, seriously. Then in that situation, Indra happens to come by. And Indra asked, what is the cause of your lamentation? You are the mother of the earth. if you are lamenting, what will be the fate, of the earth? So Mother Earth said, my lamentation is just for this poor cow. Slim, poor. And the way the farmers, they are using the cows is so terribly painful. They are beating, flogging, and this cow is so lame and so, so lame, and it's not very healthy. And the treatment is receiving, it's like it's disturbing her. The angel said, wow, you have so many children, so many cows. Even a lot of them have been taken to slaughterhouse. A lot. Mother Earth said, yes, but there is nothing like affection for one, son or daughter that is incapable of protecting himself. When Indra heard this word, you know what Indra can do? Instantly, he did something. He ran. But this is just to give a push of understanding on what affection can be. But the kind of affection this Dhritarashtra was having was really a blind one. And this kind of affection was actually what creates the wall of Mahabharata. Because when Dhritarashtra and his friends were in the Pandavas' quarter, the way Maya has constructed the quarter of the Pandavas was so mysterious that Dhritarashtra could not understand what is what. Whether here is door, or here is exit, or here, he could not understand. So in different intervals, he became a victim of that quarter. And the areas where the different brothers were staying, Nakula, Sade, Dupali, whatever, they were seeing the activities of Dhritarashtra. At one point, they laughed at him. They said, like father, like a son. Your father is blind, and you are also blind. So this word hits the heart of Dhritarashtra. That he said, even though heaven will fall down, I'm not going to give anything. I'm not going to look back. I'm not going to return, whatever it will be, because of this insult. So the point we are driving at, how do we give up this affection for the characters of the senses? Because the affection we are to cultivate is the affection for the actor. And what is that affection for the actor? Seeing the presence of the Lord in everything. Seeing the presence is you, seeing the presence of the Lord in everything. How do we maintain this affection? How do we cultivate this affection? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, the duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So, Krishna consciousness is active in every space. So in our Krishna conscious movement, we are being given different activities to enhance us. Enhance means to motivate us, to strengthen us towards having different understanding that Krishna is absolute, is the original, substance in all things. Is the original, we are existing because that fragment of Krishna is in us. This body is inferior. This body exists because that aspect of Krishna, Paramatma, is here, Super Soul. As soon as Super Soul leaves this body, the body becomes lifeless. So we have a well-packaged program laid down by Acharya, enhanced and forward to us all by Srila Prabhupada. Attention, patience, faith is required to cultivate this practice. Attention, patience, and faith. If these three factors, principles are not there, to cultivate this process, it's a little bit difficult. We may act like we see from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. When the seed of bhakti is growing, sometimes the seed of bhakti, it grows with other anarthas. Anartha means unwanted things. If one is not very careful, you may sweep off the seed of bhakti and those unwanted things, thinking that you are doing justice to it. So these three principles, they are needed. They are expected, they are required. Otherwise, the affection for the characters of the senses is difficult to give up. In Canto 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, around chapter 2, maybe we'll be going, yes, chapter 2, thereabout, then text 20 upwards. When the brother of Hiranyakashipu was killed by Vishnu, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, decided to console his in-laws, his nephews, including his own mother. He gave a series of examples, and he cited historical facts. One of the examples he gave, and the historical story he gave, we try to explain it. He said, "Oh, dear mother, dear in-law, dear nephew, you don't need to lament. Just like Gita tells us that, this body is like a dress. At one particular time, we have to give up the dress. But those who are intelligent, those who are intelligent, they do not lament when the dress is being pulled, taken away." So, Hiranyakashipu said, it's just like a group of people in a traveling bus. At one point, they will not light. Take some cold water, take some whatever. Then at one point again, then we again begin their journey to their different destination. He said we all assemble like this. At one point, You are seeing me now, I'm seeing you now. Maybe after some days, I may not see you again. You see, the arrangement of life is like that. We all have different destinations. But at one point, we are bring together. Like a leaf in the ocean. At one point, we are bring together. At one point, individuals find their way. This is the audit of karma. Then he cited the historical stories. In the city of Suyaja, maybe I'm not pronouncing Suyaja, there was a king. This king, died in the battle. And the posture he was lying was of a hero type. But the point is, the wife, all the family, they begin to lament, begin to cry. Oh, hero, oh, this, oh, because of affection. You see, there we are crying. Even the hours approach for the body to be cremated. Because of the cry and because of the affection, the body was still lying as it is. So the cry of these relations, wife and so on, was heard by Yamaraj. And Yamaraj take a form of a small boy. And he approached the scene where these people were crying. He said, Yamaraj said, what kind of people are these? We who are young people, we know that when there is, when we are born, there is always, the thought that one day we will die. Just like, Yamaraj himself asked Yudhishthira, what is the amazing aspect of life? What is the amazing aspect of life? Yudhishthira said, although I see my father, I see my relation, I see even my friend, they are all passing away, going one after the other. I'm so confident that death will not come to me. Yamaraj said, even though these people who are crying, they are aware that hundreds and thousands of generations of them has passed away. But because of affection, they are crying. So Yamaraj approached the lady. What is the problem? You said this man, this king was your husband. You called him before. It answers you. Now he's still lying down there. Because he cannot answer you now, then you said he's dead. It's like a contradiction. The person you used to call that answer you is still with you. But he's not responding to you now, then you are lamenting. So Yamaraj cites a story in a story to illustrate his point. He said there were two birds, two friendly birds, couples, husband and wife. Time to time, they flew here and there. At one point, they had some children on top of one of the trees. So they went at one time to get some food for the children. As they were arriving, they find one special hunter has packaged all the children in the net. So the wife, the bird, the female bird could not tolerate. As soon as she behold the sight of the children, they are jumping in the net. So, that affection, she could not contain the affection, and she floated down to the net, and she also became a victim. She was caught. But the male bird who were seeing the scene began to lament. He was lamenting. Lamenting. Yamara said he was lamenting, but he forgotten that his death was also at the corner. Although Srila Prabhupada gave a different approach to this story, but he was lamenting for the wife, the children that has been caused, but his own death was at the corner. In that situation, the male bird was also caught. So what is the point Yamara drive? We are lamenting for the dead, but what about our own death? So this is the reason why Yudhishthira said, we had, even my friends, our relations, we are so aware that many of them have passed away. But we always think that it will not come to me. So Krishna consciousness is a proactive measure. Krishna consciousness is a proactive measure to help us achieve the topmost. And what is the topmost? Back to Godhead. And what are the formulas? We have earlier highlighted 3 principles. Who remember those 3 principles? We said 3 things. Faith, patient, so these 3 principles, they are important. And how does these 3 principles work? By hearing, by chanting, by remembering, and by association. Above all, service to the Guru, to the Vaishnava. And this time we are very fortunate that it's a period where we can showcase. Showcase in the sense that we can actually show our love for our spiritual master, for Srila Prabhupada, by uplifting our enthusiasm to distribute Bhagavad-Gita. That is where the strength, that is where the power is coming. It does not actually mean whether there is old body, there is young body. It does not actually mean that you must give up a carton of Bhagavad-Gita. No. You can never tell how this Bhagavad-Gita can uplift. Just one copy, if it enters somebody else's hands. Just by one little endeavor. Srila Prabhupada makes us understand this point. He said he was looking for one moon, but today he has so many moons. Right? He has so many moons. So I withdraw my summary so that we can have some questions. Generally I speak 45 minutes and 15 minutes in everything I do. My summary is on this particular text. Krishna is never contaminated because he is the original. Krishna says in one of the slokas of Bhagavad-Gita that he is the seed-giving father. If Krishna is the seed-giving father, it signifies that we are also original. But because of our absorption, affection in the characters the demands of the eyes, the demands of the senses in particular. We intend to forget who we are. Some century ago, Galileo Galilei postulates that maybe the sun or the earth perhaps revolve around the earth. But today, most of the people at that century, even we say it's not true. The theory was faulty. Even Galileo Galilei was excommunicated, was ostracized, was chased out of that community by postulating this theory. But today, what is our fate? We are saying the earth revolves around me. The earth revolves around me. Me-centered universe. This consciousness can only be given up by, following the process that the Acharya has given to us. Because when this consciousness is given up, then we can actually understand that Krishna is the original source of all things. The original is the absolute. And the process of devotional service purifies us to that point that we can actually come to understand fully that everything has in Krishna, which is one aspect of realizing or perceiving the absolute. Hare Krishna. Question, comments? 10 minutes is there.
As you were speaking that
Yep.
child, when is born, is crying.
Yeah.
So similar way, in the material world, people are crying. They always keep on crying for some sense gratification, for something. And mostly their desires are fulfilled by
Good.
the Lord.
Good. Pardon?
Mostly the desires are fulfilled by the Lord.
Yeah.
And devotee also, whatever he wants, Krishna fulfills his desire.
Good.
So the differences between the materialist person and the spiritual person are similar, we see. You are breathing air, the materialist person breathing air, you are eating, they are eating, they are sleeping, you are sleeping. Similar activities we are doing. So now the differences is that we call ourselves devotees.
Okay.
And the materialist person, they call them materialist person.
Okay.
Now, how can we understand the Lord's differences between the devotees and the materialists?
Prabhu, this is a good question. It's really a good question. Thank you for raising that question. When a magistrate of a state enters a jail, can it be confined as a cellar? There are so many criminals in the jail. For instance, if magistrate enter that same jail for some purpose, can it be tamed that the magistrate is one of the cellars, is one of the jailers, is one of those who have been put in the jail? Pardon? No. No. So similarly, the activities of the devotees and the activities of those who are not yet awakened to the Swarup, their nature, is different. Yes, it is true. We breathe in. They are also breathing. Fine. It is true that devotees, they pray for resources, and the Lord gives resources to them. The other aspect, the materialists, in quotes, also do the same thing, and the Lord gives. But the use is different. The devotee knows that these resources is being given to me by the Lord to enhance His pastime, to enhance His glories, to broadcast His name. But the materialist, I have worked for it. I have tirelessly worked for it. It's for my pleasure, and it came by my mind. I should enjoy. This is the difference. Srila Prabhupada said this competitive spirit is the reason why the embodied being is suffering. But if we maintain cooperation with the Lord, we become joyful. The same thing applies. The inmates, those who stays in the temple, they should see through the eyes of the authority. They will be happy. The eyes of the authority is the eyes of the guru. I keep that as that point. Is it clear? Probably you have any more questions?
No.
Okay.
Just the same thing that devotee works for Krishna.
Pardon?
Devotee works for the pleasure of Krishna.
Okay.
While materialist works for pleasure of himself.
Good.
It's short, same activity, but goal, the aim is different. Or what?
Nice comment. It's a comment, right? Thank you. Mataji, you had any comment?
No, I just have one question.
Okay, question, okay.
About my chanting.
Chanting.
Yeah.
Good.
When I chant, I don't chant attentively.
Okay,
I do focus on the sound,
good,
but my mind is elsewhere.
good.
So I'm hearing, but I'm not hearing. So
Yeah. Well, I may not be the right person, but I will try to say something on this. Otherwise, I'm so much optimistic about the programs which the VIHE, VIHA, the Vrindavan Higher Institute of Learning in Goshala, the program they conduct, within this period of year. If you partake, you get more nourished. You get more nourishment as regards to you chanting, your mind is somewhere. The program is well packaged, it's well arranged. So I encourage you, one of the programs which I know where this aspect is being dealt with is Holy Name Retreats. They have this Holy Name Retreat. But presently now there's a program going on which I think is on the second Govardhan Retreat. But to put a touch, if we are doing service diligently, we are doing service without recognition. Without I'm doing so that I can be recognized. Whatever we do, if there is diligently is add to it, our chanting will be okay. Our chanting will be sweet. We will feel it. Because what is difficult? We have gotten tongue. We have gotten ear. So what is the difficulty in it? And we have hand. So what is difficult in it? So if we do service diligently without, applying motivation in the sense that I want this person to take note of me. I want that person to take note of me. Our chanting will be superior. But if we do service with motivation, then we have this kind of problem. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, okay.
One point for this one.
Okay, she's adding to that.
Example is given of the child.
Okay.
The child is small.
Mm.
He try to box it for down.
Okay.
Again he wakes up, again he
Mm.
So our chanting is like this.
Okay.
We are chanting, but we have to continue chanting.
Mm.
Then we can stand properly.
And not just
Like a child.
not just like that. That is okay. It's part of it. What supports us? What gives us strength to chant mostly is the service. Just like the father have to support the child. Just to back up the father has to support. I remember I have a sibling. When he was still very baby, I mean maybe I don't know, 5, 6 years. Whenever he's writing, if I come across, I will hold his hand to write. Do you believe me? That child, when he grows up now, he never forget that thought. Because he has a wonderful writing. He never forget that thought. That whenever he was learning to write, I was always holding his hands to write. So that thought still remains with him. So the child needs assistance, so that the mother, the father, so that he can practice. So the service is our mother, is our father. Bhakti-yoga I quote him, that if we don't have service, we are not protected. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Srila Prabhupada ki.